Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Friday, November 17th, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. We'll get to Kyle Shanahan potentially throwing shade at Jimmy Garoppolo in a minute. But first, we always start every show with the injury report. The following players did not practice on Thursday: Aaron Banks and Nick Zakelj. We know this. They're both out. Zakel's out for the year. Aaron Banks is going to miss time with turf toe. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles and Colton McKivitz were both limited. The good news, Robert Beal, Darrell Luter, Trent Williams, and Samuel Womack were all full participants. We'll see who's actually active on Sunday. Now, let's get to that Shanahan audio. He was on KNBR, and he made a very interesting comment about Brock Purdy and the type of quarterback he wants on his team.
I want a guy who gives us a chance to win the game, not a guy who's just hoping everyone else wins it for him. That's where you want it to start. I am not worried at all about Brock not being that guy. Brock makes plays. He lets it rip. He's done that since the first game he got in Miami halfway through, and he's done it every game since. So Brock, we have zero concerns about that.
Some would say that's a veiled shot at Jimmy Garoppolo, and I would be one of those people. But I also think it's true. Brock is somebody that always looks to take doubles over singles, even if the single is more of a sure thing. That's just the way he plays. Now, I have another bite from that Shanahan interview that I'll play for you in a second, but I wanted to go to this from Brock Purdy because I think it's relevant to why Brock looks to take those doubles over singles.
I mean, it's a mindset, I'd say, just playing without fear. The fear of failure is something that, I feel like I've learned over the years, especially in college. If you go out there and have that mentality of, I don't want to mess up, then you start playing timid, and then you're, obviously not playing like yourself, like you have growing up your whole life with that competitive edge. So that's one thing that I've learned for sure is to, try to take out fear, throw it out the window, and play clear-minded, play like a surgeon, do what Kyle's asking of me. But being smart with the ball at the same time, but also having the mentality of, playing fearless. And that doesn't mean play reckless, but be smart with the ball, play within the offense and scheme. If something happens where it's off schedule, play ball. So I'm still learning that, honestly, but I feel like that's how I look at it right now.
When I hear that, I just can't help but wonder if maybe throws like we saw on that first touchdown to George Kittle on Sunday, maybe those are just the type of throws that we're going to see from Brock, because that's just who he is. He has that chip on his shoulder. He has that mentality. We'll just have to see as Brock gets more experience playing in the system. Now, to the final Shanahan bite for you. I was very critical of Kyle for leaving Christian McCaffrey in the game in a 31-point game in the fourth quarter last week to try and get that touchdown record. When Kyle was on KNBR yesterday, he was asked about what went into making that decision.
This was a record that it happens over 18 games, and he did it over 17 games. And, I would never would have put him back in there to go for like a yards thing or something like that. But man, when you got to do that over 18 games for that long, I mean, that takes a long time to build up. Mm-hmm. It's only been done once. And I sat there and thought about the risk reward the whole time. And I was actually counting in my head. I was estimating, I'm like, all right, he's had over 200 touches. He's gotten hurt one time this year, and it was when he wasn't touching the ball. So he's gone 200 times without it getting hurt. If I give it to him 4 more times, what's the percentages of him getting hurt on one of those 4 plays versus the percentages of him and the rest of the team never talking to me again if I don't give him the opportunity? And once I did kind of that math, I felt good about it.
That does not make me feel any better about it. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Friday. David Lombardi has a story in The Athletic about how Christian McCaffrey needed help learning the 49ers plays once he was traded there in the middle of last year. He pegged one particular player on the Niners to help him with that task, and you won't believe who it was. If you want to find out, click the link in the description of this episode. One thing to watch: the 49ers released a video with Brock Purdy and Nick Zakelj, who, if you don't know, is Brock Purdy's roommate. It was a friendship test video. If you want to check that out, I will also leave the link in the description of this episode. And one thing you may have missed, we all know the record that Christian McCaffrey did not set last week with the 49ers, but he has a chance to set one this week. If Christian McCaffrey catches 4 more passes, he will break the record held by Roger Craig for the most catches by a running back in his first 7 seasons in NFL history. 4 more catches would give Christian McCaffrey 484. Wow. That is a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Like and subscribe to the Gold Standard YouTube page as well. Mimosa Michelle and I will be live today, 9:15 a.m. Pacific time. We'll preview the game from a betting and fantasy standpoint. If you click the like button and the subscribe button, that little bell, that'll notify you every time we go live so you won't miss it. We're live pretty much every single weekday. And of course, immediately following the 49ers games, we do the instant reaction show. That's why you want to click the bell so you'll know every single time because you don't want to miss it. Enjoy your Friday, everybody. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.